So it came to my attention that the last yoga practice that I posted wasn't in great quality. I did do it off my iPhone, so I hope that this is better. Come to your easy seat, hands whichever way you like. Sit bones into the ground, thinking about a tall spine growing up through the crown of the head. Eyes are closed. And just pay attention to your breath. There's no need to fix it. Is it short and shallow? Do you feel your belly expanding? Now intentionally, we're going to take a deep breath in, filling the belly up. As you exhale, pull the belly in towards the spine. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Return to whatever normal is for you. And set an intention for your practice today. If you can't think of one, maybe think about your relationship with time. We're always rushing around. Seems like time goes away from us. But what if time was working for you, working with you? Hands beside body for 3 opening breaths. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Head bows with gratitude. We're going to come to tabletop. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Tops of your feet flat. Going through some cat and cows. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Flow through a couple more of these on your own pace. And then we'll meet back to tabletop. We're going to think about the right shoulder coming towards the right hip. So making a C shape with the spine. Come back centered. Left shoulder, left hip. Come back to the right. And the left. One more time. Good. Coming into puppy pose, you're going to walk your hands out, trying to keep your hips stacked above your knees. Walk your hands out. Chest is going to come down towards the floor. Thinking about the hips stacking up high. Rest your head on the mat. Couple of breaths here. Carefully walk yourself back up into the table. Push yourself backward into child's pose. Hands can be straight out. They can be down by your sides, whatever is most comfortable for you. Okay, come on back up. Into tabletop. We're going to come into our first downward dog. Tuck the toes underneath. Press the feet down to lift the hips up into the air. Walk your dog out if you need to. Pedal out the feet. Holding still in your downward dog. We're going to look forward, step the feet forward, coming into some sun salutations. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, look at the thumbs. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands plant, feet go back into plank. Lower down, drop the knees if you need to. Whole breath. Tuck the toes, send it back, downward facing dog. We're going to come into plank pose, so shift your body forward again. Holding this for a couple of breaths. And if you want, you can invite a rock back and forth. Keeping your abdominals tight. You should feel this in your core, not your low back. Coming into a side plank, you're going to place the left hand directly underneath the face, roll onto the sides of the feet, and come up. Now, if this is too much, you can definitely drop the knee down and be here. Good. Bend the elbow, bend the knee, tap, and come back. One more time. Swing the arm down, coming back into a plank. Hips up high for downward dog. Take a break and take a breath. Going back into plank. Invite a couple rocks. Placing the right hand right below the face, rolling onto the outsides of the feet or even going onto the knee. Coming into side plank here. Gazes up towards the top hand. Bending the elbow, bend the knee, tap, come back up. One more time. Don't rush, take your time. Hand comes back down. Send it back, downward facing dog. At any point in time, please go into child's pose if you need it. Look forward, step forward. Going into another sun salutation, inhale, out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, look up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands plant. Feet go back. Chaturanga. Untuck your toes, cobra. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg up. You're going to step it forward in between the two hands for a runner's lunge. Planting your left hand right next to the right foot. You're going to then open and revolve, bringing your chest closer to the inside of the thigh. Bring that hand back down. To frame the foot, step it back into downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg up. Bend it, bring it through. Plant your right hand next to the left foot. Get stable, squeeze the inner thighs together. Revolve. Bring the hand back down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Walk the feet towards the hands. Carefully roll up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Into mountain pose. So mountain pose, feet are straight, chest is proud, hands face outward. We're going to take the right foot. You might need blocks for this. Step the foot back into pyramid pose. So thinking about my feet trailing like a railroad track, still pointing straight ahead. You want your hips to be square facing forward. From the hips, you're going to pinch forward. And maybe you grab your blocks for support. It's important to think about keeping your hips square in this position the whole time and a flat back. Pushing the bent hip back and up will help you achieve this. Hands on your hips, lift back up. Bending and folding again. Hands come down if need to. Place the blocks off to the side. You're going to step the back foot forward. Carefully roll up the spine. And just pay attention to what feels different between the two legs. Stepping the left foot back into pyramid pose. Squaring the hips, both facing forward. Hinging forward from the hips. Try to keep a nice long spine and square hips. If it's a hard time reaching your blocks, you can always turn them on their highest side or on their lowest. Find what speaks to you. Bring the hands on the hips. Bring yourself upright. And lower back down. Place your blocks back off to the side. Let the hands plant, step the feet back for plank. Lean forward, chaturanga. All the way down. We're not going to come into cobra, we're going to stay down here. What we're going to do is some strengthening from the back. So please keep your hands directly underneath the shoulders, like you would be pressing up into cobra. But we're not going to be using your hands, we're going to be using the strength of our upper back. So tops of your feet press down into the floor, legs pressed together. The hands are light, hovering over the ground. Lift and down. Press down with your hands now into cobra. And lower back down. Lift the hands, lift. Down. Cobra. While lifting your hands up and lifting your chest up shows the strength of your back. Pressing up into cobra shows you your flexibility. One more time. Step the hands in front of you, rest the forehead on your hands. Going for the lower parts of the legs now, you're going to think about the legs lifting up and back down. It's good to think about the legs reaching far away from you in order to lift, as opposed to throwing it all on the low back. Be very mindful. Your low back will talk to you a little bit, but it should not be telling you no. Maybe you just reach a little bit and come back down. One more time. And relax. Hands are going to come by the sides, facing the thighs. Tuck the chin, rest the forehead on the mat. You're going to then combine the two. And lower back down. One more time, lift. And lower. Use your hands to press yourself up. Coming into child's pose. So now arms are going to be extended directly out in front of you. Legs are together. Hands are going to come over to the right while you shift the hips over to the left. Walk yourself back over to the left, and then your hips are going to go to the right. We're going to come on up. We're going to try camel pose. So you may need the blocks for this as well. I like to put them right outside of my ankles. So before we go all the way back, let's prep the body. You're going to interlace the hands behind the body. Roll the shoulders back and down. Think about looking up, pushing the chest up as the hands slide down towards the floor. Come back up carefully by tucking the lower rib cage in. One more time. And back up. Okay. Tuck the toes. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to think about that slight back bend. Your hands going to hit the blocks first, that's okay. Relax the head back. Try not to move it a lot as long as your neck is healthy. If the body is amenable, try to move your hands to the ankles. Thinking about pressing the hips forward the whole time. Carefully start to draw the rib cage in and come back up. Nice job. Coming into a grounding state, tuck the toes under, keep them tucked under. Vajrasana, thighs are together, hands are on the thighs. Your gaze is soft and looking straight forward. Back bending can bring up a lot of turmoil. Reground yourself. Okay, we're going to come into a wide angle seated forward fold. So I like to move myself back a little bit so that way my heels stay on the mat, because they're a little sensitive to hard floors. So your focus here is to make sure that both of your sit bones are supported by the ground. Keep your toes pulled back the whole time and keep the quads active. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale. Rolling the pelvis forward. Don't go all the way down. We're just going to prepare. Notice what the body is capable of doing right now. Come back up. Inhale. And exhale. Into whatever is most helpful for you. You may notice that you're able to move further than before. Really focus on those feet. Make sure that they're not doing this or this. Keep them straight up towards the ceiling and flexed. Use the hands to walk yourself forward if you'd like. Come on back up. Now I'm going to bend the knees, bring the legs forward, and bring the right knee in. Draw it in close to you. You're going to take your left arm and hug the right knee as you take the other hand behind the back for a spinal twist. Come on back center. You're going to take the right peace fingers to bind the right big toe. Bring it out in front and then twist the opposite direction. Good. Lower that leg down, bringing the left up close towards the chest. Right arm hugs as the left hand goes behind. Come on back center. Left peace fingers bind the left toe. Bring it straight out and twist. Lower that down. I'm gonna come to the side here, and we're gonna try for or prep for elephant's pose. So find the peace fingers of your right fingers, the big toe. Going to archer's pose, you want to think about drawing, keeping the knee close to the armpit. Draw the leg back. Now this will depend on hip mobility. And support with your opposite hand. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you draw the other arm around to rest the calf on the shoulder. Arm is going to come straight back to where the hip is. Wherever you are, we're going to hold for 2 breaths. Trying your best to keep a nice tall spine. You don't want to be hunched over in order to achieve this. Carefully unbind wherever you are. Lean back, shake the legs out for a beat. Going to the other side, and the other side may be different. Finding the peace fingers, drawing that leg back. Maybe you stay here, or the opposite hand cradles the heel. Tuck the elbow, thread it through. Carefully unbind wherever you are. Shake the legs out. There might be a little bit of built up pressure in the low back, so we're going to go into 1 forward fold. Inhale and exhale. Carefully rolling up. We're going to come onto our backs. Grab your yoga block. If you don't have one, you can do it without one as well. You're going to place it on the second highest side. Sorry, first highest side. And place it directly underneath your sacrum. So, not up here, right about there. Okay. One leg is going to come straight out, keep that foot flexed. Interlace the hands behind the knee, pulling the knee towards the chest. You should feel this in your opposite hip flexor. Release that, bring the other leg straight. Wrap behind the knee, towards the chest. Try to not let your foot flop out to the side. Try to keep it pointed straight up. Let go of that. Place the feet on the floor. Press the heels down to lift the butt up to remove the block. Or they're going to come into dead bug. So legs are going to come up. No, they don't have to be pinpoint straight. Arms are gonna come up as well. So thinking about your bones just resting on top of one another. Try not to use a lot of muscle activation for this. Trying to get all of our drainage from our legs to go through the lymphatic system. You can draw circles with the wrists and the legs. Move in the opposite direction. Maybe fan the toes, squish them together. And just hold here. 5 more breaths. Bring the arms back down, the legs back down. Arms are gonna come palms down, straight out to a T. You're gonna take one leg, cross the ankle over the knee. A few rocks back and forth to help prepare your body before the twist. Bringing that foot down towards the floor. Now you could definitely use the yoga block if your foot does not touch the floor, don't force it to. Gaze is in the opposite direction. And if you like, your left arm can pull the right knee in closer or push it away. Just find what feels good for your body. Come back center. I like to press my feet down after one part of the twist so I can realign my spine again. Opposite ankle over knee. Few rocks back and forth. One down. Opposite direction for the gaze. Pulling the knee in, or maybe pushing it away. Come back center, uncross. You're gonna bring the arms next to your sides, palms up, legs come straight out. Find your Shavasana. You can stay here as long as you need to. Thank you for practicing with me.